So we got some surprise spoilers for Boruto Chapter 79 and it's not looking good. This is crazy. Like, no one predicted this and it's absolutely insane, but we're gonna get into it. So let's start from the top. So we basically got the cover page of Boruto with the slash and all that jazz, and it's looking really good, and the chapter is titled Almighty or Omnipotent, so either one depending on the translation. But when it comes to the spoilers themselves, it says here that the search for Kawaki has started. Shikamaru has deployed shinobis to search for Kawaki. Of course, this happened in the prior chapter. Then it says that Kawaki is still erasing his chakra. Mitsuke joins in the search, but Boruto tells Sarada to go as well, as he's concerned for Mitsuke. So this is kind of weird to me because I don't know why they would do this, because like they're trying to protect Boruto from Kawaki, and the issue here is that they don't know where Kawaki is. So why would you leave Boruto by himself? What if Kawaki just comes back? You know, like they can't track him because he's erasing his chakra signature using his Otsutsuki ability, so he can literally just come back and attack Boruto again and no one would know, right? It's just weird, but we'll see how it plays out in the actual chapter. Then it says here that Kawaki exhausts himself. EIDA, using her Senringan, manages to find Kawaki and goes after him. Daemon is on the ground saying to EIDA, "I can't fly, don't leave me behind." So this basically confirms that Daemon can't fly, even though it was kinda somewhat confirmed when we see that EIDA had to carry him to the place, to the house. So this is basically just like confirming what we already knew. And it actually shows like Kawaki leaning up against the tree, so it shows that he's actually out of chakra. So if in the event someone did find Kawaki, I don't think he's going to be winning any fights. But based on the future scene that Boruto saw, we see that Kawaki was able to go in his horn state, so that is going to happen some way, somehow. Then it basically switches to EIDA finding Kawaki. Of course, something does happen in between here, but they're not going to like release every single panel in the spoilers, which is good. But it says here that EIDA finds Kawaki and tells him that she's on his side, which everyone kind of predicted because like she likes Kawaki. I hope it's more to it because like the lens she's going to like in this chapter, there has to be more than just her liking Kawaki. It's weird, but we'll see. But it says here that Kawaki rambles about wanting to protect Naruto. It goes on to mention his desires for wanting to be in Boruto's place and for Boruto to be an outsider. This is kind of weird because we haven't seen this side of Kawaki before. Like mostly it was like, yo bro, yo we're brothers and stuff, we're gonna live in the same house. But now it's like he didn't want Boruto to be a part of the family. I think this is a dramatic shift, which I hope they pay off, because even though it's kind of believable, it's kind of a, how should I say it? It's like a right angle, you know, turn. It's like very sharp instead of like a curve. You know, like we didn't see this happen, like we didn't see this kind of like this mentality from Kawaki before, so it's definitely weird, but hopefully it's paid off later on. But this is where it gets really interesting. It says here that EIDA uses her full power to rewrite history, the power of an almighty god, according to Momoshiki. So this is basically what Momoshiki figured out in a prior chapter but refused to tell the audience for some weird reason, but you know, we're figuring out right now. It says that Ikimoto went god mode on these panels. It's absolutely crazy. So it shows like EIDA powering up and power shooting up into the sky, and then we get this panel of the planet itself, which shows that her chakra is affecting everyone on the planet. And then it says here that EIDA has reversed Boruto and Kawaki's life. Boruto is now the enemy of Konoha, who killed Naruto, and Kawaki is now Kawaki Uzumaki. Then of course we have Momoshiki referring to the prophecy. Now, this part is very interesting to me because like basically what it's saying here is that instead of them believing that Kawaki sealed Naruto and Hinata, which is what he said, now everyone thinks that Boruto killed them. So of course now everyone is gonna attack Boruto because it's not like, yo, they can get them back because they believe that they're dead. So they're gonna be way harsher on Boruto than they were with Kawaki given the situation. So Abdul also gave his thoughts on the chapter itself. He said that from what I understand, this is the true nature of EIDA's power of fascination / enchantment. So it appears to be the same ability but to a larger extent. So it's not a second ability, but I guess you could classify it as such if it does something different, I suppose. Then says that Kawaki activated it when he said his desires, and Momoshiki considers this a godly power. She has essentially manipulated everyone's memories via their chakra. Then we have this panel saying that Mitsuke attacks Boruto because again Mitsuke believes that Boruto is Kawaki. And then it says Sarada seems to not be affected by EIDA's new power of manipulation, and we saw that in a prior chapter as well. So apparently she's not affected by any ability of EIDA, or again this is just one ability but doing something else, so it would be the same thing. So I guess that's what it's saying here. So we have this awesome panel of Mitsuke being in Sage mode, and it looks crazy. Of course we hoped that this was gonna be like Mitsuke versus Kawaki, but apparently it's Mitsuke versus Boruto, so either way we're gonna see Mitsuke in Sage mode, so I guess that's good. Now of course Sarada is there as well, but I'm sorry bro, like Sarada isn't doing anything to Mitsuke, bro. I'm just saying, bro. So yeah, we'll see. Then we have the final panel for the chapter, I believe, and it says that Momoshiki says that Kawaki is now looked at as the son of Naruto, who was born and bred in Konoha, for Boruto is now an outsider who killed the 7th Hokage. Then it says in the side text that 2 paths rewritten by the power of a god, a pure wish soon becomes a reality. So basically Boruto has lost everything. He has now lost everyone, Sasuke, his friends, his village, Naruto to some extent. So it's definitely sad, but what's interesting is that Sarada isn't affected, Sumari isn't affected because Sarada isn't affected, so we can assume that Tsurade is fine as well. And then we have Code, who is in Ishiki's dimension, so he should be fine as well. So we might see a case where Boruto teams up with Code to take on Kawaki and EIDA, and this will be interesting because I don't know how Damon will factor into it, because it could be a case where he also sides with Boruto. It depends on what happens, right? Because it seems like EIDA doesn't really care for Damon, so it depends on how it plays out, but it's very possible that we might see Damon on their side. But again, like, he might remain on EIDA's side, and then I don't know how Code is gonna beat Damon because we saw what happened the last time. And the interesting thing about Code is that he's hellbent on destroying everything that Kawaki loves, so that would be the village as well. But Boruto also loves the village, so I don't see how they would have like a good relationship there, because Code wants to destroy something he loves as well. So I don't know, it's kind of weird. But one thing we do know is that Naruto and Hinata aren't affected since they're in another dimension as well, so I guess it's kind of weird that Kawaki wants to be his only son, but Naruto is one of the few people who still believe that Boruto is his son. So I guess he didn't really accomplish what he set out to accomplish. And just to be clear, like, Kawaki didn't ask EIDA to do this. It's again, like, Kawaki's a child, he's naive, he's just saying what he feels, although it's very weird that he feels this way since they really treated Kawaki as a part of the family already. So it's kind of weird that he even had these thoughts. But again, like, EIDA just did this, he didn't ask for it. Now it will be interesting to see how Kawaki reacts to this happening, if he like lashes out at EIDA or if he takes it in, because if he takes it in, I don't see how you can truly redeem him. It would be kind of weird to do so. But again, these are just the spoilers, so we'll see what happens when the chapter comes out, and of course we'll get the review out as well. I think that will be like maybe in a few days, so we'll see. All in all, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like if you like the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.